Recording. I have a recording. Yeah, well, the recording was ready. That is awesome. So, oh, there we go. We're already on it. Hey there. How are you doing?
Hi there.
Can you hear us? Yes?
Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Hi, Stella. Hi, Susan. Hi, Karen. We'll start in 3 minutes, guys. The chat box up too.
Hello. Can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Hi, Xiaoming.
Hi.
Gonna get this set up. We'll start at 8 o'clock. Okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries. We'll just right now we'll not mute everyone. When we start, we'll just mute it. We'll just get the Marla and us on so everybody can hear it, and then and we'll get started. Yeah.
I saw it somewhere. I saw it somewhere. Okay, so,
Marla's probably coming. Yeah. Hello, Antoinette. Svetlana's here. Hello, Svetlana.
Hey, Svana.
Yes. Hello. Hello, Joanne.
Hi.
Hi, Antoinette.
Yeah. So we're just doing come up. Awesome. So it's 8 o'clock. Let's get everybody.
对了，有声音了。
All right. Thank you so much for being here, everybody. Is Marla here yet? We need to unmute Marla. Okay, awesome. Just give me 1 second. Okay. Okay, let's get started. Hey everybody, this is Dr. Barry from 𝑐𝐫𝐴 Spine Posture Center.
Hi, everyone. It's Dr. Kelly from 𝐻IROPATH. It's so good to have you guys here tonight. We love that you're taking your time out of your day to learn about how to take care of your body and how to make sure that you have a positive mindset dealing with this COVID-19 situation and really to have a positive mindset going forward.
Yes, and we are actually so excited to have everybody here. And just a little background about our clinic, right? 𝐻IROPATH Spine Posture is located in the heart of downtown Toronto, right at 𝑠PRANA College. And the mission of our clinic is to actually make health more accessible to everybody. So health is not just a luxury, it's actually a necessity for everybody. And that is exactly why we're here today, because we want to share this information with you on how to manage stress in this very interesting time of our lives. And we just want you to have that information so you can help yourself and deal with that stress that you've been experiencing.
Yeah. Let's do some shout outs first. See who's here.
Yes. So Donna, Antoinette, Svetlana, thank you guys all being here. You guys are like the first one signing on, so thank you so much. We also have Dorothy Chan. She is a very great friend of ours, and she let everybody know about this amazing event. So thank you so much, Dorothy. I also want to shout out to all of you guys who work in the Ontario province in the government. I mean, you guys are so underappreciated right now, and we don't even know how our province will be like without you guys' hard work. So thank you guys so much. Lastly, we want to thank all the ℏ community members. Some of you guys know we have a ℏ Facebook group, and that is where all our members get the latest updates about when the seminars will take place. So if you're not a member on the ℏ community on Facebook, make sure you join us so you don't miss out on this opportunities, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And for us, you know, we've been working at home for about 2 weeks, and I don't know about you, but for me personally, I have 20 tabs open on my computer. Half of it is recipes and YouTube videos,
right, exactly.
right? And I have a notebook full of things I need to do, but working from home for such a period of a long time is hard, and we're totally on the same page. And that's why, you know, as a ℏ community, we're going to do a giveaway for all the attendees to this webinar. We're going to give away a $50 Amazon card. So stay tuned for that. We're going to send you guys instructions of how to join. But without further ado, I want to share with you guys the main speaker for tonight, which is Marla. Marla is a psychotherapist in the province of Ontario, and she actually specializes in dealing with crisis situations, right? So COVID-19 is not something that we experience on a daily basis. And when I first met her, I think that she will be a perfect person to talk about how to deal with this whole situation that is thrown into our face, and how to really manage our stress and anxiety. And the reason that we're talking about this today is we understand that there's a lot of research out there that has proven chronic stress and anxiety leads to increased mortality rates by even 50%.
Yes, that's correct.
And it can actually affect your brain function. And what it actually does, it decreases the length of something called telomeres, which is something that stores your DNA and your chromosomes, which is pretty important, right? That's our genetic information. So that is exactly why we're discussing this topic. It is really true to our heart. So without further ado, I'm going to invite Dr. Marla, and we're going to start with some general questions. You know, every time I turn on the TV in the morning, CP24, we see things like, oh, another person tested positive for coronavirus. Another nursing home gets affected. We see, you know, Loblaws have new people tested for coronavirus. A lot of negativity surrounds us. And, you know, I really wish one day I can turn on the TV and something says, we really flattened the curve, you know, we got this thing under control. So Marla, my question is, with the entire situation out of our hands, every day is a totally different story. How would you go about navigating this situation and this uncertainty?
Well, first of all, we should be very careful with the information we get, the sources of the information. It is very important that we are careful, because there are many things that are going around, as you just described, and this is not easy. This is new information coming up every single day. So we need to be very careful about what information, what resources of information we have, what we read, and not to dig so deep on that every day, all the time. We need to be informed, and we need to know what actions we have to take in order to flatten the curve. But we cannot leave that to manage our days and to own our lives at this point. So first of all, we need to be careful with the information we get.
That is right. Wow. I think Marla, a lot of viewers, you might have questions while Marla is speaking, right? So please, there's a chat box right here at the bottom. Just type them in there, and then we will address your questions in the Q&A in the end, okay? So thank you so much, Marla. Our next question is, as you said, we need to be selective with the information, right?
Yes.
But the fact is that we've been isolated basically for almost a month now, right? And it appears that this is gonna be a couple more weeks or even months. So are there specific mental health risks associated with being isolated for a long time?
Yes, definitely. Anxiety and depression will be the risks on these situations. And we need to understand that this is not a normal situation, like this is a crisis, but a crisis is on this moment an opportunity for us to build ourselves. So we need to start taking actions. We cannot expect to have a normal level of well-being at this moment. That's normal that we experience moments of fear, moments of sadness, that we are not going to live our life as we normally do. That's normal, we can expect that, but we need to prevent for falling on depression or for that to be transformed on anxiety and on a problem that could last for longer than this. So there's definitely anxiety and depression will be the most frequent issues on this point.
I see. Thank you for that, Marla. And when we do grocery shoppings, when we go to Loblaws or Metros, people are so afraid of each other. We're told to be at least 2 meters away, and there's so much fear and everywhere. Would you say that there's a specific population that is more prone to develop anxiety and develop stress? And how can we make sure that we give them extra attention and give them extra care so we avoid any, tragedy in the end of this whole situation?
Yes, well, people who already experience mental health issues, the people who are already struggling with that, could be the most at risk on mental health right now. And also people on vulnerable situations could be, for example, on an abusive environment, or people who are struggling with other issues, those will be the ones at more risk. We need also to take care of the elderly people who are at most at risk on this virus, and people who have other immunocompromised systems or are dealing with other health issues in general. Those will be the people more at risk, mentally and obviously physically too.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Right. And I like the fact that you mentioned that people already have some mental illness already, and they also previously being abused. I mean, I never really thought about that, because now it's just going to add more stress to them, right? And I'm just wondering, in this time, people may be stressed out, have anxiety, depression, all kinds of different emotions. How can people manage their emotions in this isolated periods, Marla?
We need to identify our emotions. We cannot just sit there and think that we have anxiety or that we are struggling with something. We need to start identifying, to name them. Once we know what we are feeling, we can deal with that. We need to identify what is the feeling that I have, and then what it comes from. If I'm afraid, I can be afraid of getting ill. I can be afraid of what is going to happen if I lost my job. So we need to identify the emotion and where it comes from. And then we can start, first of all, we should express. We cannot keep the emotions to ourselves, because that is going to cause more problems. And we can develop a mental health issue for that. So we need to start expressing them. We can do a journal, we can write it, we can write, I don't know, to be creative about it, we can talk to others, we can also listen to others. So we can use this opportunity to start building stronger connections with people who is around us. We can use the internet to communicate with other people also, and to start building deeper connections with them. That is going to help us so much at this moment, to express our emotions, to deal with them, and to connect with others. We are isolated, being isolated physically, but that doesn't mean that we need to isolate emotionally and socially too.
Yes, that's perfect. And I noticed that a few weeks ago, they used the word social distancing on TV, but now they've changed it into physical distancing, which means that, of course, we want to be connected, virtually, but not physically, right? Now that's a change I saw, which was
That's
funny
right.
to me. And as much as we love to provide you with all the good information in the world, but would you suggest some action steps that we can take in terms of coming up with a specific plan and keeping a positive mindset for the next few months?
Yes, well, I wouldn't, more than having a positive mindset, I would say that to be propositive, we need to start building. Right now, we can start making plans, first asking ourselves, who would like, what kind of person we want to become after a crisis like this? What kind of what kind of behaviors we want to develop on ourselves. Basically, the recommendation here will be ask yourself, how would you like this crisis to transform you? And then we can start making plans from this point. We can start, as I said as an example, we can start creating something, cultivating a hobby, learning something new. There's a number of things that we can start doing in order to transform our future. Right now, the situation is putting on our faces the consequences of the life, how we have been living it, and we can see the situation, how this is going to develop. It depends on how we manage the moment at this level, how we manage our present, how we manage our time, and we can do what we do with that. So we need to be careful with the information. Do not believe everything, confirm the information we get, and also practice relaxation techniques that would be super helpful now. Practice mindfulness, distribute your time. As I said, we cannot expect this to live on a normal level, but also we need to maintain a level of normality. We can make plans, what is going to be the plan or the goal of this week, and what is going to be the plan or the goal of today, and to make a purpose to every day, to build something towards the future person we want to become, to what kind of person we want to walk out of the house when we can do it.
Wow, thank you, Marla. That was very extensive. I really appreciate that. And let's just simplify for everybody a little bit, right? If we can just do one thing, right? Do one thing differently to manage this stress. What do you think is the most important and effective method to manage everything right now?
I would definitely say to take actions. There are many things that we cannot manage that are not in our hands, but what is in our hands is who we are. So we need to start building what kind of person we are going to become. We need to start managing our emotions, identify the resources we have, using them, ask for help others. So basically the main recommendation here is take actions. If we just sit there waiting for things to happen to us, then it's when we start feeling overwhelmed and we start feeling that we are not capable of doing anything, and then depression starts to grow, anxiety definitely. So in order to prevent that, we need to start being active on what we are going to do with our lives, what actions we are going to do to prevent or this to cause more damage on our lives. So the main recommendation would be, please take actions. Identify your resources, use them.
That's awesome. And Marla, you said in the previous, a little bit earlier, you said that there's some relaxation techniques that you could recommend. Could you give us some examples of that and what you do usually on a daily basis just to make sure that you get ready for the day?
Yes. Well, this is very simple. It's so simple that it's almost hard to believe how helpful it is. So we need to take a moment every day just to breathe, like breathe deeply and feel how your lungs start getting all that air in. Just think about it. imagine the air coming in, imagine the air coming out. And if you dedicate 1 minute or 2 minutes a day when you are feeling very stressed to just close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine how that air, imagine it as a light, imagine it as a, I don't know, like something shiny, something glowy, and then you just imagine that air coming in to fill your lungs, and then imagine it coming out. And imagine, if you want, you can imagine it coming out like with all that stress, with all those thoughts that are interfering with our well-being. It is just a very simple breathing exercise and imagination exercise, but just that is very helpful. You will be surprised how it can change our mindset at some point.
That's great. So for the last part of our webinar today, Marla, let's answer some of the questions that our participants have put out, okay? So we're gonna unmute everyone. So if you want to ask Marla a question or ask us a question, now is your chance.
Right here. Now that I already demoed, I still don't think there's enough room to have it all in out.
Okay. Actually, I saw a question. One second. Okay, so Marla, one person asked us right now because they're working for the government, right? And a lot of people are taking sick leaves. And so there's some people are really just kind of working by themselves and got all the tasks on their own shoulder, and they feel really stressed out. What do you advise people like that to relieve that stress at workplace?
I would suggest to manage your time. You cannot, if you are working from home, you cannot work all the time, and you cannot work all the time here and there. If you are going to the bedroom and you go to the kitchen and you go to the studio, if you go to the sometimes we need just to be organized, and on the spaces, if we dedicate one space to work and one time of the day to work, then that our mindset that's gonna be working at that moment on that space. And we also need to dedicate time to, as I said, to relax, to build connections with other people. So even if we cannot live normally now, we need to maintain a sense of normality. What the regular activities normally are, and then try to build your life, to your everyday life, something similar, as similar as you can.
That's great. And another question that we saw is, when this whole thing passes, many things are going to change. We see that, on the TV, people are getting laid off. There's a lot of negativity about, employee-employee relationship, landlords, rent. For people who are uncertain about what's going to happen, they're afraid that things are going to change in their life, their jobs are going to be lost. What kind of recommendations do you have just to put people at ease so they're not, constantly worried about what's going to happen after COVID-19 finishes?
First of all, please express your emotions. We all are going through this, and we all are experiencing stress, and we all have lost something right now, right? So we need to start expressing ourselves. Talk to people, please. Sometimes, in order to make a plan for this situation to improve and to change, sometimes we are just so deep in our own thoughts that we are not seeing the resources we have. So if you talk to someone, sometimes they can give you maybe suggestions on how you can develop a plan to change what is going to happen. There are many. If you lost a job, for example, maybe someone can help you to recommend you somewhere when this finishes. Or maybe some person can help you build a resume. I don't know. But if we ask for help, that help is going to come for sure.
Wow, that is a great answer, Marla. And we actually got another questions from one of our viewers, Vivian, and she said, because of the tense situation, I feel like I have a few moments of panic attacks. How do we deal with panic attack?
Well, you should try to make a routine of these breathing exercises. Luckily, on internet, let's say for example on YouTube, there are many channels on which you can find exercises to relax, so to meditate, for mindfulness. So I will really suggest to practice that. And when you are having a panic attack, take a moment, try to sit, try to identify what is exactly the thoughts that you are having, and try to it's like disengage. Try to actively disengage of those emotions. Try to actively let it go. Just breathe and try to voluntarily let go what you are feeling, and that is going to pass. Once you start breathing more normally, you can start analyzing the thoughts that you are having, and then the thoughts are not the problem itself. The thoughts are about something that is problematic. So if you identify what is being problematic around you, what brought you those intense emotions, you need to start taking. There is no action that is small. Like even if you think that's something very tiny that you can do to change the situation you are in, so you need to do it, because no action is insignificant. It is very important that we see the power that we have in our hands by taking small actions.
Wow, that's a great answer, Marla. And Vivian, we hope you find that helpful. Okay, and next question is actually from Joshua. Joshua said, any suggestions for parents working from home but taking care of small kids at the same time? Thank you. Well, that's a great question because, you know, I mean, we're all spending more time with our kids now, right? All of a sudden, a lot more. So Marla, how do you suggest parents working with their children?
Yes, you can give the children things to activities to make them responsible for different things at home. That would be one of the suggestions. If you are working and you need to be concentrated on the job that you are doing, and your children are around you, all around you, that's going to distract you, and it's going to be very stressful. But try to give the children something to do, an engaging activity to do at the moment that you are working, and also keep them like a schedule. If you can start planning a schedule and building a schedule with the children, that's helpful too. If you can give the children, let's say, one stamp for every thing, for every achieved activity that they finish of the activities that you gave them, then the children at the end of the week, let's say, the children can interchange those stamps for something that they want, to watch the movie they wanted, or I don't know, for something rewarding. That also will help the kids to be more motivated to follow the activities that you do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's tough, you know. Right now, I think all the kids are going to do online courses, if I'm not wrong, and that just means who knows what's going to happen to the school year, and who knows when they're going to go back. And as much as we love our kids, sometimes they're a pain in the ass, right?
Right. And I, you know, one thing you mentioned, Marla, was really interesting, right? Give kids a task and then reward them, right?
Yes.
When I was a kid, my parents usually asked me to vacuum the floor, and every time I do it, they give me like $1. So I was so motivated because I want to save up to buy basketball. So I did like 15 weeks in a row, right? So yeah, yes. That's a great.
Sometimes the activity can be rewarding in itself, can be something fun to do, but sometimes it is not. And also we need to start teaching the children that not everything in life is going to be joyful, but there are things that have to be done, and being responsible of them is rewarding on itself. Like right now, we can give them a stamp or $1, as you said, like something. Right now, they are not going to see the reward on the activity itself, but by the time they can start building this let's positive attitude towards the responsibility they are taking care of by associating it with something rewarding or something nice that they are doing.
Right. Wow.
That's great. And my question is, Marla, you know, when everybody have stress in their life, right? There's nobody that's perfect. Nobody has no stress. But how can you tell when this stress and this anxiety is serious versus something that just we can personally manage? Because I know that when you have a panic attack, some of the symptoms really is similar to having a stroke or having, you know, or a heart problem. You know, you have shortness of breath, you feel like you're gonna faint. How can you distinguish that difference? And when can you tell it's a time to see a professional like yourself?
I could say if you think that you would like to talk to a professional, do it. No, there is not there are different levels or different parameters for from person to person. So if you feel like you would like to talk to a professional, definitely go ahead and do it. There is nothing, there is no bad advice on this.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Great. And one more question from one of the participants. He asked, because of all the unforeseeable uncertainties ahead, right? I feel like I'm so not motivated. I feel so like I'm not motivated to do anything. What are some of the things that I could do to give myself more hope and stay motivated?
Well, it is normal to feel that way. First of all, it is very normal. Be kind to yourself. Accept that's expected. We cannot expect ourselves to work and to feel on a normal level on situations like this in a crisis. So first of all, this is accept that this is normal, and start with, as I said, with small things. Plan something, a goal that you have on the future, and start divide it on small activities or small steps that you can do every day. So just start doing it. First, you may have to force you a little to keep doing it, but the act of start doing the activity that towards the goal that you have, that's going to help.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marla. And we just have our final question from Vivian. She's asking, any suggestions for seniors who have to stay at home?
Keep yourself busy. Keep yourself busy, definitely. I have seen many seniors that they go out. I understand that it can be difficult to stay inside, but please, you are the population at most risk sometimes, especially right now. So please keep yourself busy, keep yourself communicating with people towards, through the websites, I don't know. But yes, please don't go out and keep yourself doing something.
Yes, that's awesome. If you guys need Marla's help or you want to ask Marla personal questions, I will send you guys her phone number as well as her email, so you can always reach her, and I'm sure she's always ready to help. And as 𝐻𝑒ⁱ, as I said, we're going to do a giveaway of a $50 Amazon card just to say thank you for taking care of your health, and we want to give back. You know, buy something you like, treat yourself, be kind to yourself during this time, because we need kindness and we need positivity to get through this.
Right, and thank you so much for everyone for coming. At the same time, we know that a lot of our guests today are work for Ontario government. We just want to say one last time, thank you guys so much for still holding the front line for us, because without you guys, our province of Ontario definitely will not be able to function. So thank you guys so much for still working and donating your time for us every single day. Mm-hmm. And because of that, we would love to invite you to join our Facebook community. It's called 𝐻𝑒ⁱ Community on Facebook, and that is a group where we posted all the latest informations on this helpful seminars for you, as well as all the health tips for you. Okay, and we do know that our tickets actually got completely sold out this time. We already reached out to more people in the government that we will hold another session with Marla. Okay, so if you like this session, please come out again and let your friends know. We'd love to have them on board. Okay, and with that, thank you so much for coming. We hope you have a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Marla. Bye.